Failure, a word that frightens millions, a single word that controls lives, decisions, and even dreams. But have you ever looked closely at what failure really is? Is it a fact, or is it just an illusion created by the human mind? We grow up being told, don't fail, from school exams to careers, from relationships to spirituality. Everything is measured in success and failure, and we spend our entire lives trying to avoid one and chase the other. But who created this scale? Who decided what is failure and what is success? The truth is, failure is not something that exists outside of you. It's not a real event. It's an interpretation. It's a label your mind puts on a moment that didn't go your way. The moment you expect something and reality does something else, the mind screams, I failed. But tell me honestly, does life know what failure means? Does a river fail when it flows over stones? Does a tree fail when it sheds its leaves? Only the human mind calls something a failure because it measures everything through expectations and outcomes. Look deeper. Failure is not in events. It's an attachment to outcomes. It's the ego saying, I wanted it like this, and life did not listen. And because life didn't obey you, you suffer. But life never promised to obey you. It moves in its own intelligence. The flower blooms and dies. The wave rises and falls. Yet both are perfect. Why can't we see the same perfection in our own journey? Because the ego cannot accept imperfection. It wants control. And when control breaks, it names the experience failure. That's the illusion. The illusion that life is supposed to follow your plan. When something doesn't happen according to your wish, instead of seeing what life is showing you, you close your eyes and start judging. You say, I failed. But the one who failed is just an idea, not your real self. The real you, the awareness that witnesses everything, can never fail. It's not touched by outcomes. It is eternal, silent, and complete. It simply watches. Imagine a child learning to walk. He falls many times. But no one calls it failure. Why? Because we know that falling is part of walking. Now tell me, when did we forget that? At what point did we start calling natural experiences failures? You say, I failed in business. But maybe life was pushing you to see your real strength. You say, I failed in love. But maybe life was showing you attachment disguised as affection. You say, I failed in exams. But maybe that failure saved you from walking a path that wasn't meant for you. Failure is not punishment. It's direction. It's a signpost saying, not this way. But instead of reading the sign, we start crying over it. The mind lives in duality. Success and failure, win and lose, high and low. But truth is not dual. It's beyond all opposites. When you live from truth, you stop dividing life into categories. Every experience becomes a teacher. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is life trying to show me? That simple shift turns pain into awareness. Look at the saints, the mystics. Did they ever fear failure? They walked their path even when the world mocked them. Because they knew the world's definition of failure is meaningless. If your intention is pure and your awareness clear, then even what the world calls failure becomes success in your growth. Failure hurts only when you identify with it. When you think, I am the one who failed. But are you the event? Are you the outcome? No. You are the consciousness that is watching all this unfold. When this understanding sinks in, you'll laugh at the idea of failure. Because you'll see that life is not a straight road. It's a dance. Sometimes slow, sometimes chaotic. But every step is part of the dance. The illusion of failure keeps you trapped in guilt, shame, and comparison. Break it by understanding you were never in control. You were only here to experience, to learn, to awaken. And in that awakening, the idea of failure disappears. You'll start realizing, even when I fall, life is carrying me. Even when I lose, I grow. Even when I break, I'm being shaped. Then you stop running from failure. You start welcoming it. Because now you see, failure was never your enemy. It was your greatest teacher in disguise. The ego fears failure because it fears losing identity. But awareness has no identity. It just is. And what simply is can never fail. So stop trying to avoid failure. Let it come. Let it teach. Let it dissolve your false pride. And when the illusion breaks, you'll see something beautiful. You never failed. You were simply being refined. The moment you stop judging life, you become free from the illusion of failure. And that freedom is the beginning of real wisdom.